Okay, so as we take a look here, I'd probably change your text color for your heading up here, so make sure you match it. I also would add a visited color link. You did the hover and you did the link correctly. I would do the visited so it's not as purple, maybe red or something that it matches your color scheme. For your home page, this popular menu of the month. Delete the colon. You don't need it since you have the line there, for that. Um, you might want to make this larger font, larger size so it comes out. You know, I do think we need to put some spacing between your navigation bar links up here as well. When we get to the menu, the same thing goes up here. I would say, 1 second. Need to add a little extra spacing, and I would definitely add and format your menu items a little bit. It is a little hard to read this going across, so we got to work on adding a little extra space here and there, and maybe add some coloring. Don't be afraid to add bold and italics into any of your paragraphs here because it does make it harder to read. So for one of the things you could do, working with your nav section, you can go in. So up here, well, actually, here's that link. So if you go in and add a colon visited, and then format that to fit your color scheme, that'd be great. So the nav section, having a nav A, that's telling us to look for the anchor tags. Here, it probably add a little padding on the left side, padding on the right side so it's equal. Now, what I do is when I change something, I like to see the changes. See, I'm adding just a little extra space. It makes it easier to read for that purpose. Now, when it comes to your table here, because you've gone in and added th for your menu, which is each of those, which is great because it's going to make your life a lot easier. So what we can do here is go down here to your style for the th. Just adding some padding at the top. This is, again, you might want to take, if you don't get a good grasp of padding, margins, and borders, and how it affects a block element, you need to make sure you have a good understanding of it because it is something that you have to work with. So here, I'll do 10 pixels. I'll save it. Let me take a look what it looks like. So you see what it's doing is it's adding a little extra space right above it. Okay, just a little extra space. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to do 20 instead. Okay, so there's a little more extra space. Now, what I also think that is with the TDs, we need to add some space in between that, and that's where you work with the padding as well, or with the most likely padding. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say padding hyphen top 10 pixels, and then padding, I want to put extra below as well. And I'm not saying it's going to come out the way I want, but this is why you experiment with this. Now see, that's just a little bit too much because I'm adding a total of 20 pixels. So what I would suggest doing here, we'll go that down to 5 and 5. So again, experiment with that. That's a little bit easier. And then you can concentrate on formatting this, your menu. If you're going to, for example, if you want to format your names of this, then what I would suggest that you have to do here is in your TDs, under like anything that has a name of the item, the menu item, add a class to it, give it a name. Okay, so and what you do is just you copy and paste that with your menu anywhere there's a menu item. Okay, and then over here you can just go in and say dot. You have to always put a dot in, and you have to put in the name of the class. And so here what I would suggest maybe doing is changing the color, fitting your color scheme. So something like that, you might want to bold it, change the font size. Oh, I gotta save both. So see how it goes red? So you got to think about that. You got to think about formatting and so forth of that. So a few things to work on.